Hey everybody, and welcome to Bradley's Backstage. In today's video I'm going to show you how to create a stereo mix using bus 5 and 6 for example, and we're going to route that audio out of auxiliary 3 and 4 in the 1/4 inch outputs of the Behringer X32. I'm doing this on my X32 compact, but the software is identical across all the X32 line as well as the M32 products. So the idea here is that I want to be able to create a stereo in-ear mix for rehearsals and times when I'm not performing to really give me a nice, fat, warm, and really full 3D sounding experience in my earbuds. If this seems like something you'd like to try for yourself, you will need to purchase an adapter. I got it for less than $20 on Amazon, and I'll put the link to that in my description. In this video, we're going to cover how to link the buses, how to rename the buses, give them an icon, give them the color that you like. We'll also talk about how to route the audio to those auxiliary outputs correctly, where we're going to tap the audio from, and then I'll show you the semi-secret follow left-right pan feature, the real pan knob. Without this trick, most people that try this think their panning is broken, but it's not. Then we'll go over 3 bonus pro tips that will take the stereo mix you just created to an entirely new level. Finally, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you one final tip that's going to save you from making a big mistake routing your audio to your main mix. Now let's go top down on the board and I'll show you exactly how to do this.
All right, so here I am at my X32 compact. These steps would work on a compact, a X32 producer, the full-size X32, as well as the M32 products. They are Behringer as well, of course. And essentially what we're going to do is we've got a scene loaded. This is scene rehearsal, scene 2, and I am going to create a stereo hardwired mix out of auxiliary 3 and 4, taking signal from bus 5 and 6. This is going to be my mix, and then I'm going to create a stereo mix for my brother on bus 7 and 8, and that's going to be going out of auxiliary 5 and 6 1/4 inch on the outputs. What I've got is, I've got an adapter. You'll need one of these if you want to do this, but it's a great way to give you a killer stereo in-ear mix, or even a headphone mix, I suppose. So I've got one of these adapters. It's left to right 1/4 inch, and it terminates, if I can get this right, yeah, look at this, is a mess. It terminates to a 3.5 female connection. I just plug my ears. These are the SE215s, I believe, from Shure, and I'm just plugged in there. So these will plug into the back of auxiliary 3 and 4 in this instance, and I've just got my hardwired ears to that, and then we can have a nice stereo mix. So pretty straightforward. Essentially what we're going to do is going to come onto bus 1 through 8 over here in the middle selection center. You can see 5, 6, 7, 8 buses are dark and there's nothing assigned, so I'm going to select this and we're going to go to home. The first thing we want to do is link these 2 faders. So I'm going to hit link, and it's going to say, do you want to link 5 and 6? Yes. You can't link even and odd numbers. You have to link odd and even numbers, just FYI. So if I came over to 6, let's unlink it. If I come on 6 and link, it's going to still prompt me the same way, bus 5 and 6. So either way is fine. I'm going to page select yes or right to link it. We'll do that for my brother since we're here. I'm going to hit link on 7 and 8. Okay. Now the next thing, I want to get some color and some visibility of these scribble strips. On the producer, you won't have the scribble strips, but you can still see, you know, up here kind of what you're selecting. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to setup. So I've got my bus 5 selected. I'm going to change the color to green. You can see I don't have inverted selected. If I invert it, it'll be the same colors as my existing 4 channels of mono monitors. So I'm going to change those and not invert them so that I can see it. I'll do the same for my brothers real quick. And then we'll go back here. I'm going to change the icon to show that it's an in-ear. Okay, now we got that one picked, so we'll do the same here. Again, this is super easy to do, and may as well take advantage of the routing options through the board since you've got them. Why not? So now I've got all my icons done. The one thing I do want to name is name these. So I'll click on edit with my bus 5 selected on the far right encoder. And I'm going to bring my cursor over to the right, the second encoder all the way to the right. It selects that, and I'm going to clear that. And now we're cleared. So I'm just going to start moving this around. I did do this earlier, so I've already got some in the suggested. But if you didn't, just name it whatever you want to. In this case, I'm going to use the suggested IEM Brad stereo. That's exactly what that is. So I've got IEM Brad, that's my mono. This will be my IEM Brad stereo. So that's that. Now I'll just come over to bus 6, move the cursor to the right, and hit clear on the second encoder. And I'll start picking the I, and I should see it up here as well. So I kind of do. Here's that. It's not the full, so I'll just come down here, make that a capital, and finish that off. Now you can see IEM Brad stereo for 5 and 6. So we'll do that same for Brian since we're here. Clear. I'm going to start typing I. And my brother's is right there, with the exception of the T. Okay, and then I'll come over here to bus 8 and do the same thing. Move over to the right, second encoder, clear that. Move around, type I. I do have in-ear monitor Brian ST here. And there you go. So now we're going to go ahead and route these bus channels to the auxiliary outputs we want. Again, I'm using bus 5 and 6 is going to go output auxiliary 3 and 4 1/4" on the back. Okay, so I'm going to click on routing, and I'm going to move over using page select right till you get to the auxiliary out. So auxiliary out 3 is what we're talking about. 3 and 4 is going to be my stereo mix from 5 and 6. So I'll pick auxiliary out 3. It's already selected to come out of a mix bus or draw from a mix bus, and I'll move it from mix bus 3 to mix bus 5. That's this guy. And then I'll do the same. Oh, post fader is absolutely fine. That should be how it comes out of the box. So you shouldn't need to adjust that, but if you do, just change that to post fader. Okay, and I'll move this to... Oh, do I have that right? Mix bus 4. Nope, that's going to be mix bus 6. Got me a little confused. Can be a little confusing. Just take your time, go slow. So right now, auxiliary 3 out 1/4 inch on the back is coming from mix bus 5. And then the auxiliary out 4 will be my right channel out of mix bus 6. We'll do the same for Brian while we're here. So his 5 and 6 is going to be mix bus 7 for the left, and then mix bus 8 for the right. So we can see that that is now set up. 3 and 4 is coming out of 5 and 6. 7 and 8 is going out to auxiliary 5 and 6. So we've got it routed now for that audio. Now we need to set the top points, because I want to have all the compression and EQ and stuff in my ears. So I definitely want that in my ears to make it sound as good as it possibly can, okay? We're going to select the bus, which I already have, and then we're going to go ahead and hit home. And we're going to go to config, and you can see it set to post EQ. We don't want post EQ, we want pre-fader. It's going to ask us, do you want to do that? The send levels will be updated. I'm going to hit confirm with the far right encoder. Now 5 is set to pre-fader. That means it'll take everything up until the fader, which is including all my compression and all my stuff there. I'll do the same for Brian while we're here. So we'll move his to pre-fader. And now his is set to pre-fader as well. So he'll also get compression on all of those as well. Now, the important step here, if you really want true stereo out of all your channels, you do need to do this step. This is very, very critical. So I'm just going to go ahead and select all the channels and do this one step for all of them, okay? Now we're going to go ahead, after I select my input channel, I'm going to go to home. And then I'm going to go ahead and go all the way over to sends. You can see this little box here. That's showing us what is selected so we can make changes to the routing. I'm going to use my far left encoder to move it over, just 2 clicks. Now we're talking about 5 and 6 that are linked and 7 and 8 that are linked. Okay, now this is a really important part here. When you're here, you want to ensure that your follow left-right pan is not enabled or colored. So essentially, if I want to pan, say, channel 4, which is an electric guitar mono channel, in my ears, I can use this, right? The third encoder from the right to actually affect the panning of that channel in my ears in the stereo 5 and 6 field, okay? So, and don't use the encoder. If you use the encoders, that often will affect the mix. So you leave these encoders as they are. You want to change your stereo mix panning using the encoders. So I'm going to check each channel. So the drum channel left and right, that is not enabled. That's perfect. It's panned left and right already. Bass is up the center. Those are not turned on. Perfect. That I've got panned all the way to the left. So then I go to channel 5 and 6. That's my stereo left and right guitar. Channel 5 is left, and I've got that pan about -40. Channel 6 is hard right pan. Vocals are straight up the center as they should be. And again, none of these follow left right pans are enabled. But if I enable those, then you see I don't have the ability to actually move the panning because the X32 is looking for me to adjust the panning using the pan balance knob. If I do that, I'm affecting front of house. Do all your panning within this section here. So now we're effectively ready to start creating our ear mix and putting in and panning things the way we want to. Very simple. So we'll start that process, but I'll tell you, stick around because I do have a pro bonus tip that's going to really elevate the audio coming out of these buses for your ears that'll really take it to the next level. But at this point, essentially, you're good enough at the very least to start making your mix. So with my bus selected on bus 1 through 8, I got bus 5 selected. I'm going to hit Sends on Fader. When I do that, these should all drop down, and they do. In sends and fader mode, if you know, that's affecting things that are going to whatever bus you have selected here. So I've got drums on this, and all these movements for these faders are only adjusting the levels of the instruments and tracks going to this bus mix, okay? So if I just wanted to do it even across the board, that would work. Now I'll take it off bus fader, or sorry, sends on fader. And I don't want to get a copyright strike, so I'm going to load up a song and we'll just hear the drums, okay? So I'll mute those, and I might pan through some other instruments. I've got my audio coming out of auxiliary 3 and 4, just the same as I'm going to be doing when I plug in my ears. So we'll be able to kind of hear what it is. Now, when I hit play, we should hear the drums, so let's check that out. And there we go. We've got meters moving. We're solid, okay? So let's see if we change that out. We got bass guitar. We've got guitar. One guitar in here. We got my guitar. You'll hear all the audience noise through there, and we've got that. So we know that it is definitely working. So that's great. So now if you want to go ahead and elevate the gain even more and make the mix sound more, I'll say professional, but certainly more musical and more punchy, and more even across the board, I'll tell you, these steps here are going to really make a difference. So we'll select Sends on Fader. Now we're back in here. Two things. You can hit Effects Return. And now I can go ahead and bring up, this is a slap delay, and this is more of a long throw delay. These effects right now are routed to my main PA outs. This is a slap delay stereo and more of a long throw delay. But now I'm actually getting some effects in your ears. You can adjust whatever effects you have in there. Come over to your effects return and get them in your mix. Now that's even elevating it even more. So now if we want to add some compression and EQ, I'll tell you, this is phenomenal and this is super cool. With my bus selected, okay? You don't have to have Sense on Faders enabled. Okay, I'm just going to select bus 5. Now I'm going to engage the EQ, and we're going to view that by hitting view. We can see the audio. Just for example, I'm on my low channel. If I bump up that gain, see it's a shelf, but you can hear that changing, right? I'm going to change that mode to VEQ. Bump that up and listen to that. Now if I go to my highs, just as an exaggeration, you can really hear how it's crisping it up, right? Killer. So why not play around with that and get that in there even more and make it more tailored to what you want your sound to be. Okay, the other thing I can do is add some compression to this mix for my ear mix. So I hit view on dynamics, engage the compressor, and let's go ahead and bring that threshold down. You'll really hear that start to tighten up. Okay. So you can play around with your compression settings, make it sound however you'd like to. This is just an example. So that's really it, you guys. Now, once you get all this dialed in, you've got yourself a killer ear mix. Don't be afraid, jump in there and make this change happen. The most important key parts here is when you're making changes to your levels for your ears for bus 5 or whatever it is, make sure Sends on Fader is engaged. Otherwise, if I start moving these with this off, you know, it's going to be affecting the main out mix. I will say one other thing too. Whether you've got sends on faders on or not, the gain preamp, do not mess with this. That's affecting your PA output, your main left and right output. Don't adjust this. That will change everything for your mains. That's really it, you guys. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, slap a like. If I forgot anything, got something wrong, you need some clarification on this process, send me a comment. And I'll do my best to answer it. I'm relatively new to the digital mixing world, so I will do my best to answer any questions. There's obviously YouTubers out there, even ones that I've learned a lot from, that go into great detail. So again, hope you enjoyed this. Hope it was helpful. Get in there, make your mix, make it killer, and we'll see you on the next video.